Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 2025 Illinois Police Officers Memorial. The ceremony will be starting in approximately 10 minutes. If everyone can get their seats, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Springfield, the home of the Illinois Police Memorial. Please rise for the playing of the national anthem by the Illinois State Police Trumpeters, to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. I'm David Johnson. I'm a retired lieutenant of the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office and president of the Illinois Police Officers Memorial Committee. I would like to welcome our constitutional officers that have given their time to be here with us today to honor the officers that were killed in the line of duty, not for, especially for this year, but for all years. I would also like to welcome members of the General Assembly. They are in session, but they have come over here because they feel this is a necessary place for them to be. I have heard that the President of the Senate, the Speaker of the House, and I know there are senators and representatives in the audience today. Thank you for taking the time away from a busy schedule in the session here today. Welcome to our fellow officers that are here today to show support to these families and to the other officers that have gone before. To our returning Gold Star families, you're very important to us in this ceremony and carrying on this process. And most importantly, to this year's honored families, we welcome you with open arms, and we hope that this is a first step in a long healing process that you will be going through. This is the 40th anniversary of the Police Officers Memorial. The Illinois Fraternal Order of Police, Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police, Illinois Police Association, Illinois Sheriff's Association, and the Police Protective and Protectant Association, later known as the five founding organizations, met and decided to host a memorial service to honor police officers killed in the line of duty. On May 15, 1985, the first ceremony was held here in Springfield. It's much like today's ceremony with the interfaith church service, with the first church being right across the street from the library, and then to the East Capitol grounds, where there were some speeches and all of the names of every officer killed in the line of duty throughout the years were read. And that practice continued until the police memorial was dedicated, where they were read one last time, and then only the names that were to be inscribed that year were read. The operating budget was $2,500 for that first ceremony. Each of the five organizations donated $500 towards having the ceremony and putting it on. We also had, in later years, some merchandise which helped supplement that, but our main budget was $2,500 to do this ceremony. It's not a secret. Now, the Police Officer Memorial Committee puts out somewhere in the neighborhood of $60,000 to $80,000 a year to put this ceremony on. And to us, this is money well spent. You can see how it has grown and what we now do. When it was decided that a permanent memorial would be built, a location had to be secured. Then Secretary of State James Edgar and State Representative Judy Barr Topinka were instrumental in securing a portion of the southwest lawn of the Capitol where the memorial stands today. It is my information that we are the only private memorial and privately funded memorial on the grounds of the state capitol. We are very proud of that, and we hope everybody is as proud of that distinction as we are. When it was decided that the memorial needed to be expanded to ensure that there would be space for years to come, Mark Flowers, who is the acting architect of the Capitol, assisted in securing permission for the expansion. Anything that's done at the Capitol has to go through the Architectural Committee and then be approved. The design and everything else that goes with it has to be approved. He was instrumental in helping me get that approval for the expansion. Once we got the okay and everything was approved, the newly appointed architect, Andrea Aggert, was very instrumental in helping us. Our architect kind of walked away. She was there on the site helping me make decisions that was needed to be made. Her expertise, I can't tell you how grateful I was for it. She has taken this committee to heart. She has taken this ceremony to heart. She has gone far enough that she has asked that in the past years, construction workers take their lunch hour while this ceremony is going on so that the ceremony is not disturbed by the construction noises and we get through it. There's not enough time to go through how the simple idea of honoring fallen officers has grown to what you see today. When we gather here each May, and we gather here on the first Thursday of May under a proclamation by then Governor Pat Quinn that the first Thursday in May would be known as Illinois Police Officers Memorial Day. So this is our day. When we gather here each May, the names of the officers are read, their departments, and their end of watch dates. We do not read how they made their sacrifice. Whether it was quick, such as gunfire or car accident, or due to an injury or sickness which causes the officer to linger. We must embrace the family of each fallen officer equally and be there to help them navigate their grief. So I hope I haven't bored you with the brief history of how this all got started 40 years ago, but a 40th anniversary is kind of special, and we thought you should kind of know how this got started and how we do what we do. And a lot of it is thanks to all of you because of the license plates and the lottery tickets that are bought helps us put this on every year. And all we do is hope that we have provided the proper honor to you and your loved one that they have earned. So thank you very much. Our first speaker will be the Governor of the State of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you to Lieutenant Dave Johnson for leading us in this memorial and for your years of service to our state, to all of us. To the families, the friends, the loved ones of our fallen heroes. Illinois Police Officers Memorial Committee, to the ISP Director, Brendan Kelly, and all the members of state police that are here. My longtime friend and our former Illinois Secretary of State, our senior statesman in the state of Illinois, Jesse White, and to my fellow constitutional officers, I really am humbled to join you all today to pay tribute to Illinois' bravest. We gather to mourn the loss and to honor the memory of law enforcement officers who have died in the line of duty. Those who gave their lives serving and protecting their communities, whose endless bravery and unwavering commitment to others compelled them to stand in our defense and to run towards danger. They woke up every single day knowing that they may be called on to face extreme uncertainty, that on a moment's notice they may be required to put themselves in harm's way to save another. And every single day they answered that extraordinary call of duty. That deeply held sense of responsibility is what drove them to this work. It wasn't for accolades or for recognition. They were called by a higher purpose, a calling every officer of the law answers, to defend and protect our families and all that we hold dear. Their courage and their sacrifice is the glue that holds our communities together. These brave officers went above and beyond their mission, not just in the moments of extreme danger, but in their countless acts of everyday kindness, comforting a scared child, changing a tire for an elderly driver, volunteering at a community event. There was often no act too small for them. These officers touched our lives in countless ways. So to the families of the fallen who are here with us today, know that the entire state of Illinois stands with you, shoulder to shoulder and heart to heart. We are here to honor your loved ones, but also to honor you, to hold you up and to embrace you as our own family. There are no words to ease the overwhelming sorrow and emptiness of your loss, but I can tell you this: all of the things that make their passing so difficult, the memories of them on special occasions or just in everyday life, will eventually become sources of comfort rather than of grief. Those memories can make you smile, feeling the depth of their love more than the pain of their loss. No tribute or memorial could ever recognize them enough to repay the debt that we owe to these heroes. But we've gathered today in unity with you to honor their sacrifice and to affirm to you and to their brothers and sisters in law enforcement that they will never be forgotten, that what they have given for us will never be in vain. To honor their memories and uphold their legacies, we commit to lives that they would be proud of, to live our lives as they did, in service of others, our communities, our country. We pledge to uphold the ideals and values that they went to work each and every day to protect. So may the memory of the righteous be a blessing. And God bless you all. God bless the great state of Illinois.
Our next speaker will be Lieutenant Governor Julianne Stratton.
Good morning. Thank you, Lieutenant Johnson and the Memorial Committee, for sharing this sacred moment with us. I am grateful to everyone here who came together to remember these brave souls. I want to recognize that the families we induct today never asked to be a part of this somber club. I've been told that when you love an officer, part of you accepts that the shadow of loss is never too far away. But I don't think that anyone can truly prepare for the moment when a light you cherish goes dark for the last time. To the resilient officers mourning as you carry on your duties, I offer the deepest appreciation for your service and a reminder to take care of yourselves as you take care of others. To the friends adjusting to silence where there used to be laughter, I encourage you to find a way to keep that joy and the memories surrounding it alive. And to the families, whom I hold especially close in my heart this morning, who are learning to walk alongside unspeakable pain, I am ready to help brace you when the weight of grief threatens to buckle your knees. Your loved ones gave their lives to protect our community. We will never forget them or their impact. As much as we honor the uniforms they wore, we also uplift the fullness of their humanity. Behind each badge was a soul, a smile, a beating heart full of promise and potential. And my hope is that you catch glimpses of your officer's truest self in the small moments. A burst of their laughter in a crowd, a brush of their hand when you offer yours to someone else in need. You, the families of the fallen, have my everlasting thanks. In the same way that your officer protected us, you are now charged with protecting their memory. And I know that it won't be easy, but I have faith that you will carry on with dignity and determination. In the meantime, everyone here today is ready to help hold your grief. As a person of faith, each year on Illinois Police Officers Memorial Day, I find myself sharing Psalm 34:18, and this year is no different. It says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed." May you know, without a shadow of doubt, that God is near and will hold you close. You remain in my prayers. Thank you for loving your officer so well. And to all of those on the front lines, the courageous men and women of law enforcement, be safe. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Treasurer of Illinois, Michael Frericks.
Good morning. It is alternately good to be back here with you all, but I wish we didn't have to be here today. But as long as there is a need to stand next to our family and support them in a time of grief, we'll keep coming back every year. I wish we didn't have to, but it's a fact of life, and something when people sign up, they know this is a possibility, that they may not come back home. I've tried to be here every year that I've been treasurer and to speak to you all. And if you remember, frequently I wear a solid blue tie. And so I do that in solidarity with the men and women who put on the blue. This year, you see, I have red stripes. And someone commented that, is this for firefighters? Because, see, I was a volunteer firefighter. My grandfather started that department, and I've talked about my family's connections to the fire service. But I wear this tie because it was my godfather's tie. He was also my cousin. He's the first grandchild out of 18, and he was the son of a police officer with the Kankakee Department. Greg went to Western Illinois University, where he majored in criminal justice. He knew he wanted to be in law enforcement. He also knew he didn't want to be around for Illinois winters. And so he moved out to California, worked on the Newport Department, and then the Anaheim Department, where he eventually retired. But he loved law enforcement so much, he could not stay retired. He went back and worked for the Orange County District Attorney as a welfare fraud investigator. A 40-year career in law enforcement. Now, because he lived in California, I didn't know him very well. He was my godfather, and we stayed in touch. But he went off and he worked as a patrolman. He got into investigations. He worked in homicide. He did undercover work with gangs out in California. He was the cool cousin. He was the cool godfather. As I got older, and I got involved in public service, and I served in the state senate, when I had questions about law enforcement issues, Greg would be someone I would call. And as adults, we got to know each other better. And I can tell you, before I came to speak here in the past, I would frequently call Greg and get thoughts on proper words to say. Greg had not yet retired, but was looking forward to his retirement. And I've mentioned him before more briefly in the past. But last year, my mom called me on my birthday in the morning, and she called me again in the evening. And I wondered why she'd be calling again. And she said, I didn't want to ruin your birthday. I got that call that a lot of you got. And I know how it hurts. But it becomes easier with family. And your family is not just the people you're blood relation to. Your family is with you here today. And it gets easier. In the Treasurer's Office, we want to be part of that family. We sponsor a Fallen Hero Scholarship for the children of our heroes who passed in the line of duty. It's a $5,000 scholarship. It can be used at a university, a community college, vocational program. It can be used at a trade school. It can be used for an apprenticeship. Because we know if your heroes were still around, they would take care of their children. But because they're not, we want to chip in. And so if you have children who could benefit from this, if you know someone's family who is hurting and could benefit from this, please reach out to our office. We want to help family. You are not alone. Rely on your blood family. Rely on this family that's with you today. It is not easy, but it'll be easier when we all rely on each other. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be the Comptroller of the State of Illinois, Susanna Mendoza.
That was beautiful, Mike. Thank you for sharing. Good morning, officers, families, dignitaries, and everyone present today to honor the sacrifices of our fallen heroes and members of law enforcement, including, for the first time ever, our furry heroes, the canine honorees. Thank you for coming. A special thank you, of course, to Dave Johnson for your leadership and the invitation to join you all here today. And here we are again, and again, and again, brought together to support each other and grieve together. Again, adding more names to the list of fallen officers, a list we wish was empty. But it's not. It's got so many names on it. This year it has 9 more. 9 families joining the club that no one ever wants to join, the Gold Star families. And my heart truly goes out for your loss. I am so sorry for your loss. And I wish I could say never again, not one more name. But we all know there will be more. And we will meet here again and again and again. I consider it a huge honor to have the privilege every year to share some words with you. But how do I put words together that will do justice to our heroic officers who sacrificed their lives in service to others? How do I do right with my words to honor those of you thankfully still with us, who continue to put your lives on the line for each and every one of us every single day. How can my words ever be enough to bring even the tiniest comfort to families who have jagged holes ripped into their hearts? Words don't really matter. Actions do. When we tell the police that we love them and respect them, but enact policies that hurt them and make them less safe, we're not loving or respecting them. Even though I don't make law enforcement policy in my statewide controller position, as the sister of a police officer and as an elected official with a voice, when I reflect on whether I've done enough to speak up for you or to speak out against policies that put you at risk, I recognize that I could have and I can do more. I have a big piece of furniture in my house, a big wine buffet at the entrance of my house. The irony here is that there's no wine in it, but that's not the point of my story. The point is that when I first put that big piece of furniture, when I put it there, I put a really pretty decorative glass plate right in the middle on top of the buffet. I thought it looked nice. And then one day I came home from campaigning and I took a political button that I had on my coat and I threw it on. I took it off my coat and I threw it onto the top of the plate, landed somewhere in the middle there. I thought it looked nice. It was cool. But over time, I think at the time actually, I was city clerk of the city of Chicago. But over time, it became a collection plate of sorts for political buttons. Every new year, I'd add a couple more maybe to the plate, and they started stacking up. But as an elected official, I have now attended many funerals for fallen police officers. It is now common, as you all know, to get a button of the fallen officer at the wake or visitation service. I started putting those buttons on the plate, that same plate with my political buttons. And the sad truth is that the buttons of the fallen officers whose services or funerals I've attended are now overtaking the political buttons that are beneath them in that collection. The most recent buttons added to that collection were of Officer Luis Huesca and Officer Enrique Martinez. And it's so sad to think, I was at Mrs. Huesca's home, and I saw the collection that her own son, Officer Luis Huesca from the Chicago Police Department, had of his colleagues, of his friends who had died in the line of service. The first most tragic death for him was of his friend, Officer Eduardo Marmalejo, followed then by Officer Conrad Gary. And imagine that his collection, as it grew, and it did grow, ended with his own button being added to that collection. Now, I've decided to keep the buttons of those fallen officers top and center view on that plate for me to look at their faces every time I enter or leave my home. They're a sad but stark reminder of the fact that the policy decisions made by the names on the political buttons beneath them will have an impact on how many more police officer buttons are added to that plate. When we give more rights to the criminals than we do to our police officers, we end up with dead officers and increased crime in our communities. That'll mean more buttons on that plate. Allowing people accused of violent crimes like murder, attempted murder, or predatory sexual assault to be released on electronic monitoring with 2 days a week off the monitoring grid is terrible policy. And I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. Chicago police officer Enrique Martinez would be with us right now and not on this button or on that memorial wall outside if the monster that murdered him was locked up instead of out committing crimes while out on an electronic monitor. So we can't say we love the police and then fail them miserably. Keep passing laws or policies that make their jobs harder and put them at greater risk. I've said this before, but it's worth repeating. It is wrong to show more concern for the cop killer than for the cop. It's time to get rid of policies that have not made our community safer and have, in fact, put officers and residents at risk, like the provision in the Safety Act that permits violent offenders accused of heinous crimes to be released on electronic monitoring with 2 days off. It's just common sense. Besides offering condolences to Mrs. Martinez, let's honor her son's sacrifice by fixing this. There's no shame in course correcting, but there is shame in not fixing our mistakes. In addition to the officers, whose names will be added to the memorial wall today, there's one that will not, but I still want to mention. My heart goes out to Chicago police officer Melissa Torres, her family, and her CPD family. She tragically took her own life just a few weeks ago. This is a reminder that police work is perhaps the most physically and mentally unhealthy of all professions. It is a culture of silence that prevents an officer from asking for help and instead carrying their pain and trauma alone until they can no longer bear it. And as unsafe as it is out in those streets, and we know it's unsafe out in those streets, police officers are more likely to die by suicide than in the line of duty. This job strains relationships, stressors like work-life balance challenges, lack of support, being overworked, burnt out. These things lead to depression, and worse yet, to making terrible decisions you can't undo. Know that you are not alone, that no matter how impossible and hopeless your situation might feel, there's always someone who loves you and needs you to fight through these demons. There is help for you. Last weekend, I visited Cornerstone Retreat in Orion, Illinois, near the Quad Cities. Dan and Tammy Roach are building something truly special, a 40-acre retreat focused on emotional health and wellness, specifically for first responders and their families. This place isn't just a retreat, it's a lifeline. They are already saving lives. So whether it's an incredible place like theirs that specializes in peer-to-peer support or just confiding in a friend, please find the strength to let someone in and get help. In terms of the officers still with us, let's appreciate that these brave men and women put on their uniform every day and do so knowing that they might not make it home at the end of their watch. Too often, sacrificing their lives for absolute strangers. But these officers are not strangers. They're human beings. They have feelings and families. There are brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, husbands and wives, moms and dads. They chose a profession, a calling, to deal with the worst elements of society so that we don't have to, so that we can naively think that the world is a safer place than it really is. From the bottom of my heart, to all the brave men and women who wear this special uniform, who wear it to protect us, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you for it. But as I said last year, these officers don't need us to love them. What they need is for their elected officials, their command, and the public to let them do their jobs. When criminals get the benefit of the doubt, while police are second-guessed at every single turn, we fail our officers and we fail to keep our communities safe. Let's honor our fallen heroes by stepping up for those who are still alive, risking their lives for all of us in this most honorable but thankless job. I thank you and pray that St. Michael protect you, God bless you, and may you always make it home safely at the end of your watch.
Our next speaker, most of you probably know, or at least have heard of, and some of you who've been here in the past years have listened to him. He's done this more times than I have, and that's saying a little bit. So it's with great honor that I present our next speaker, former Secretary of State, Jesse White.
Well, thank you very much, Lieutenant Johnson, Governor Pritzker, the constitutional officers, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's an honor for me to be here with you today. This is the 40th anniversary of this wonderful ceremony where we spend time honoring those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. I want to applaud, commend, and thank all of the people who are here, who serve as our law enforcement officers. I want to thank you for giving, thank you for caring, and thank you for making a difference. And perish the thought as to what society would be without you. I've had the great pleasure of serving as your Secretary of State for 24 years, and this is my 23rd ceremony. On my way down from Chicago, my car fell apart, and I had to get a ride here. So it's a pleasure to be here with you today. And I want you to know that even though I spent 24 years as your Secretary of State, I retired being the longest serving Secretary of State in the history of the state of Illinois, I have never, ever forgotten the importance of attending a ceremony such as this. Where we honor our fallen heroes, those individuals who have not only taken on the job, but they've taken on the responsibility that goes with it. And I do want you to know, too, that I retired after 24 years of serving as your Secretary of State. I'm working harder now than ever before. But in closing, I want to applaud, commend, and thank all of you for your giving and caring spirit and for making a difference in the lives of those whose families have been torn apart because of some senseless act on the part of some individuals who did not have respect for his fellow man or woman. So with that, I just hope that you'll enjoy this day. And remember, do something good for someone every day. And above all, those families that have been broken apart or torn apart because of the loss of the breadwinner, the fallen officer, I want you to know that we're counting on you to be their right arm, provide assistance and care for not only the family, but those who are closely allied to them. So for the law enforcement officers, thank you for giving, thank you for caring, and thank you for making a difference.
Our next speaker will be Sergeant Kim Cessna, Illinois State Police retired, President, Illinois Concerns of Police Survivors, survivor affected co-worker, Sergeant Rodney Miller, Illinois State Police, end of watch, 5/12/2006, member, Illinois Police Officers Memorial Committee.
It is an honor to stand before you today. I would like to extend my warmest greetings and say thank you to everyone in attendance, not only our distinguished guests, but most importantly, our families. I'm profoundly grateful for the opportunity to address such an esteemed group, and I look forward to sharing my personal survivor story. Thank you again for being here, and I hope we can make this event both meaningful and impactful. My name is Kim Cessna, and I'm honored to serve as the president of the Illinois chapter of Concerns of Police Survivors, or Illinois COPS for short. At the age of 22, I was sworn in as a law enforcement officer with the Urbana Police Department. On May 6, 1993, I attended my first Illinois Police Officer Memorial Ceremony. Honestly, I did not fully grasp the magnitude of this ceremony because I did not hail from a law enforcement family, my mother a kindergarten teacher and my father a builder. I am forever grateful to my parents for the life lessons they taught me and the importance of being kind. Kindness really does matter. I am also grateful for the amazing law enforcement mentors who taught me at an incredibly young age the importance of not only this ceremony, but also the importance of their families. Little did I know how meaningful the Illinois Police Officer Memorial and the Concerns of Police Survivors would have on both my personal and professional life. On May 5th, 1997, I started the Illinois State Police Academy. Prior to starting the academy, I once again attended this ceremony. On October 27th, 1997, just days before I was slated to graduate from Cadet Class 95, Illinois State Police Sergeant Anthony Millison was killed, and then tragically, 3 days later, Sergeant Aaron Heil was killed. Although I did not personally know these troopers, the impact it had not only on me, but my cadet class was immeasurable. Only a few days after their services, I was sworn in as an Illinois State Trooper. Talk about an overwhelming wave of emotions. My law enforcement career spanned 28 years, and I was given incredible opportunities. To be honest, there were days at work I could not believe they were paying me to do it. One of those opportunities was my time spent in Zone 5 investigations. I was given the chance to work beside some of the best people that I've ever met. Oh boy. On May 12th, 2006, my life changed forever. While returning home from an overnight call-out that went into the following day, our friend and coworker, Sergeant Rodney T. Miller, was killed in a traffic crash. Although I had suffered loss before in my life, Rodney's death affected me differently. I was just a coworker, but I spent a great deal of time with my coworkers, both on and off duty. We spent weekends and some holidays together. We celebrated birthdays, anniversaries. We laughed and sometimes even cried our way through the toughest days. We had to deal with people on their worst days, but we couldn't have bad days. We were expected to solve a problem, find a resolution, all while remaining calm and professional. We were forced to talk about work, but the best part is when we talked about our lives, our spouses, our children, our pets, our likes, our dislikes, our vacations, but most importantly, where we were having lunch. In his work life, Rodney was a leader and a mentor, but he was also a husband, a father, a son, and a brother. Rodney was extremely humble and would never boast about any of his accomplishments. These included Rodney being an NCAA Division III collegiate swimmer, a 16-time All-American, and a 6-time national champion. It should be noted that none of his swimming abilities were passed on to any of us as we tried our hand year after year at the Rodney T. Miller Triathlon. Rodney taught us the importance of brushing our teeth after lunch, and a department-issued handgun serves as a great paperweight on a windy day. May 1st, 2007 felt very different. I found myself at this very place where I stand today. Rodney's name was read that year, and I could see the sadness and the grief on the faces of his family, like the faces in attendance here today. Although extremely painful and sad, I was starting to realize not only the importance of this ceremony, but also the impact it was having on my life. I knew I wanted to help these families. Survivorship is not a badge I sought to wear, but it is one I carry with both grief and gratitude. The weight of a loss is immeasurable, but so too is a legacy left behind for those we have lost. Their sacrifice was not just for a moment, it was for a purpose greater than themselves. Each of us who remains must ensure their names, their courage, and their dedications are never forgotten. We must honor them not just in ceremonies and memorials, but in the way we live our lives. We must continue their missions, uphold their values, and support one another as they once did. Grief is something that touches all of us at some point in our lives. It is the price we pay for loving and being loved. When we lose someone dear to us, it often feels like we've lost a part of ourselves, leaving a void that seems impossible to fill. Even during this overwhelming grief, there is something incredibly important that we must remember. We are not alone. We may each walk this path of loss in our own way, but we walk it together, and in time we will find a way forward. Grief is not a linear path. It's a messy, unpredictable journey. Some days may feel impossible, and some moments may bring waves of sadness when we least expect them. I want you to know that even in the toughest moments, healing is possible. It takes time, patience, and often the help of those around us. I can only imagine how exhausting it must be to have the world watching you grieve and feeling so incredibly alone all at the same time. There will be good days and bad days. Sometimes it feels like the bad days are outnumbering the good days. I do think that pain simply evolves, and I hope someday you can find peace with your grief. Grief is sacred, as it is a testament to the depth of your heart. In time, through your pain, you will find healing, not because you have forgotten, but because you have learned how to carry love and loss together. Grief is a universal experience, yet it remains deeply personal, affecting everyone uniquely. Grief can change our faith and our understanding. It encompasses love, loss, and the struggle to find meaning in the absence of a loved one. While it is important to give ourselves the space to grieve, we must also honor the memory of our loved ones by choosing to move forward, even if that forward journey feels daunting. Our loved ones would want us to find peace, to find joy in life again, and to carry on their legacies in ways that make us proud. The pain of a loss will always be a part of us, but that does not mean that it defines us. As we move forward, we do not forget. We do not leave behind the love and the memories we shared. Instead, we take these memories with us, allowing them to guide us, reminding us the beauty they brought into our lives. We carry their love in our hearts, and we let that love become a source of strength. I hope and pray everyone here today can find the strength to smile again, to laugh, to love, and to live. It's not about erasing pain, but learning how to live alongside it. We are resilient, and with each passing day, we become stronger, more capable of carrying the weight of our grief and honoring our loved ones. This journey will not be easy. There will be days when it feels like grief is too much to bear. In those times, reach out to those around you, family, friends, or professionals. For me personally, it was the folks I reached out to at COPS that not only changed, but saved my life. The support I received from COPS and other surviving family members taught me it is okay to lean on each other and to share the burden of this journey. All of the love and support I received has guided me through brighter days. Rodney excelled at being a trooper, but the things that brought him most joy were his family. And after all these years of getting to know them, I can see why. They are truly remarkable individuals. I am grateful for the time I get to spend with his parents and his sister because it reminds me of the importance of family and taking care of them. I had to turn my pain into passion and my grief into giving. Sometimes, well, most of the times for me, that looks crazy and silly, and that's okay. I had to learn it's okay to laugh again and to cry, and if you know me, I'll be right there laughing and crying along with you. I'm grateful for the opportunities that I've been given. I'm grateful for all the families I've had the opportunity to meet. I'm grateful and look forward to hearing all of the stories of officers who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. I wish we would never have to gather on this first Thursday in May and add any more names to this wall. I retired from the Illinois State Police on October 1st, 2020, and I became even more active and passionate about the COPS organization and their mission. On October 17th, 2024, I attended our local FOP meeting. Stand by. It was mostly just a visit with friends and other coworkers. At the meeting, I had the pleasure of sitting next to Corey Thompson, or Baby Corey, as he was so lovingly referred to. We talked briefly about his work and his motorcycle, but mostly about his family. Also his recent honeymoon, his fur children and my faux children, and his insane love to run and to run fast. We laughed about the time he was our ISP intern, and although we were supposed to be sitting at the state line watching for a suspect vehicle, we made Baby Corey cross 4 lanes of traffic, all so that we could get a picture of him with the Welcome to Indiana sign, just because. We barely made it back to our squad car in time to see the suspect vehicle drive by. We were all laughing so hard, I did not think we could pull ourselves together to do any sort of police work, but we did. On October 18th, 2024, I received a phone call that Trooper Corey Thompson had been killed in the line of duty. The news was so painful, it almost took my breath away. And I just kept reliving the conversation from the previous day. I could not imagine the pain his wife, his parents, his brothers, his grandparents, his godparents, his cousins, his aunts, his uncles, his in-laws, his friends, and his coworkers were going through, all trying to make sense of a senseless tragedy. I am truly blessed to get to know the Thompson family better and to hear the endless Corey stories. Like the time that Corey not only accepted his parents' furniture delivery, knowing it was delivered to the wrong address, but then proceeded to set the furniture up in his own living room, sending a picture of the furniture to his parents, and then waiting for a response. Thank you, Corey, for giving us all so many fond memories and for making us laugh again, even when it hurts so bad. I know this day is filled with sadness, and nothing will change your situation or bring your loved ones back. It truly has been an honor and a privilege to get to know all of our Illinois families and to hear the stories of their heroes. My wish for you is that someday you can find joy. I am living testament that we will never forget. We will always honor our heroes, remember the fallen, and support our families. The love and respect I have for each and every one of you is extraordinary. I encourage you to turn your pain into passion and your grief into giving. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. Thanks for being part of this journey and for showing all of us what true strength looks like. Finally, and most importantly, please remember you can't spell family without the I-L. Thank you.
Our next survivor speaker will be Kathleen Romanek Emmy, family survivor and sister, Sergeant Marlene Romanek, Bradley Police Department, end of watch, 12/30/2021.
Good morning. My name is Kathleen Ripmanick Emmy. I am a sister of a fallen officer, Sergeant Marlene Ripmanick, Bradley, Illinois Police Department, end of watch, December 30th, 2021. I'd like to give condolences today to all of the family members, friends, and officers who have all lost their loved one in the line of duty. My heart breaks for you all. Please know their sacrifice will never be forgotten, not now and not ever. Your officer is a hero. The definition of a hero is an ordinary person who faces extraordinary circumstances and acts with courage, honor, and self-sacrifice. Yes, this describes what a police officer is. We are all connected in ways you wish you never would experience. You, as I did, will have many emotions and stages of grief. Denial, anger, depression, and one day, on your own time, acceptance. Acceptance gave me power that helped me move forward, even though at times it still burns. As many people say, in time, things will get better. Unfortunately, missing your officer, I hate to say, does not get any better. I do know that the tears we shed become less, and remembering the good times will make you smile and even laugh. One thing that helps heal your heart is getting involved in a way to keep their memory alive in your community. It also gives you a sense of helping others cope in the loss that has affected so many lives. There is so much you can do to honor your officer that will never let their sacrifice be forgotten. Embrace everyone around you. Lean on them when you are struggling to put one foot in front of the other. Illinois Cops has been a godsend to all of our families and local law enforcement. Thank you for always being there for us. And we are forever grateful. To all of the police officers out there, please be safe. We see you and appreciate all you do. In Illinois, we need better laws that protect our police officers. In 2024, Illinois was #1 in our nation in the line of duty deaths. Cop killers should face life in prison without a chance of parole or even what I think especially in our family's case, the death penalty for cases of extreme violence and cruelty. Illinois Safety Act has crippled law enforcement even greater. Illinois will have more crime, more resistance, and more in line of duty deaths. Change is definitely needed. Somehow, some way, I am begging. In my family's horrific experience with the justice system, we had to endure our peace officer, Sergeant Marlene Rittmanick's murder over and over again. And we are still not through it all. It's been over 3 years and most likely won't be finished until after the 4-year mark. Even with body cams and hotel camera footage, 4 years of hell to get what you call justice is absolutely heart-wrenching and ridiculous. Where is humanity for our family and all of the families to come? To the families and friends of the officers who lost their lives in the line of duty, may your hearts heal with courage, strength, and love. Everything I explained is to let you know you are not alone. Your feelings are valid, and the senseless crime or death of your officer hurts beyond words. Make your officer proud and continue to speak their legacy. They are all truly superheroes. I'd like to leave you with a poem my sister wrote and published in 2001 with her end of watch 20 years later in 2021. The color we bleed is that of deep blue. The blood that is shed is without asking for who. No time to be afraid, no time to cry, no choice in what we do, where we go, or when we die. The color we bleed is that of deep blue. All too often, one will pay the ultimate price. Those who wear the uniform accept this sacrifice. Beyond the call of duty, one day might be mine. No regrets, sorrow, or fear as I walk the blue line. The color I'll bleed is that of deep blue. Sergeant Marlene Rittmanick, end of watch, December 30th, 2021. Thank you and God bless you.
The Survivor's Prayer, which can also be found in your program, if you care to follow along with it, be read by Mike Matai, Vice President, Illinois Chapter of Police Concerns.
Let us bow our heads. Good and gracious God, we are survivors seeking healing from our broken hearts and our broken spirits. We are survivors seeking understanding of something that is incomprehensible. We are survivors seeking comfort in an inconsolable situation. We are survivors seeking faith where our faith is being challenged and tested. We are survivors seeking hope where all seems hopeless. We are survivors seeking love, a love that's been taken from us, yet we desperately cling to it. We are survivors seeking peace, peace in the knowledge that our loved ones are with you and that one day we will find peace in our hearts. Lord, we thank you for your love and for the bond we survivors share. We find strength in you and in one another. Dear Lord, travel with us on our journey of healing. We pray that in your power and love and through each other, we will find all that we seek. Amen.
The reader of the names this year, the Officer Cynthia Rivera, Chicago Police Department, Special Activities Section, Family Liaison Officer, member of the Illinois Police Officer Memorial Committee. As she comes up here and we get ready for the presentation of the plaques, I'm going to make everybody aware that after the presentation of the plaques, Amazing Grace will then be played by the combined pipes and drums, immediately followed by rifle fire. This will be live rifle fire, so please prepare yourself for it, especially the younger members of our audience. After the rifle fire, taps will then be played as shell casings are passed out by the Combined Honor Guard and taps by the Illinois State Police trumpeters again. So just be prepared especially for the rifle fire.
These are the names of the 2025 Historic K-9 honorees. K-9 Sam, Chicago Police Department, end of watch, February 27th, 1965. K-9 Kirk, Chicago Police Department, end of watch, December 3rd, 1970. K-9 Caesar, Chicago Police Department, end of watch, February 14th, 1972. K-9 King, Chicago Police Department, end of watch, May 3rd, 1978. K-9 Rex III, Chicago Police Department, end of watch, February 13th, 1979. K-9 Seeger, Chicago Police Department, end of watch, May 14th, 1979. K-9 Duke, Chicago Police Department, end of watch, January 1st, 1985. K-9 Max II, Chicago Police Department, end of watch, February 9th, 1986. K-9 Rocco, Roselle Police Department, end of watch, June 16th, 1995. K-9 Dutch, Rantoul Police Department, end of watch, September 13th, 2001. K-9 Uno, Peoria County Sheriff's Office, end of watch, November 2nd, 2006. K-9 Bobby, Geneseo Police Department, end of watch, February 22nd, 2013. K-9 Kali, Peru Police Department, end of watch, August 3rd, 2013. K-9 Draco, Pontiac Police Department, end of watch, October 30th, 2013. K-9 Simi, East St. Louis Police Department, end of watch, August 27, 2014. K-9 Drago, Forest Preserves of Cook County Department of Law Enforcement, end of watch, June 14, 2017. K-9 Loki, Boone County Sheriff's Office, end of watch, December 27, 2020. K-9 Hudson, Kane County Sheriff's Office, end of watch, May 24th, 2023. These are the 2025 K-9 honorees. K-9 Nix, Rockford Police Department, end of watch, January 28th, 2024. K-9 Dax, Lake County Sheriff's Office, end of watch, April 12th, 2024. K-9 Odin, Alton Police Department, end of watch, August 22nd, 2024. And now, our 2025 honorees. Deputy Sheriff Christina Mussel, DeKalb County Sheriff's Office, end of watch, March 29th, 2024. Sergeant Andrew J. Fott, Illinois Department of Corrections, end of watch, April 8th, 2024. Officer Luis M. Huesca, Chicago Police Department, end of watch, April 21st, 2024. Deputy Sheriff Raphael D. Woodlaw, Cook County Sheriff's Department of Corrections, end of watch, July 30th, 2024. Officer James B. Crowley, Chicago Police Department, end of watch, August 22nd, 2024. Trooper Corey S. Thompson, Illinois State Police, end of watch, October 18, 2024. Officer Enrique Martinez, Chicago Police Department, end of watch, November 4th, 2024. Detective Alan M. Reddens, Oak Park Police Department, end of watch, November 29, 2024. Trooper Clay M. Carnes, Illinois State Police, end of watch, December 23rd, 2024. Thank you.
Please be seated. This will conclude the memorial ceremony. And in closing, I just want to offer this up, that it is the one thing that the Police Officer Memorial Committee is dedicated to, our sole existence, is that the name of every officer killed in the line of duty in the state of Illinois will be honored and remembered. And we all hope for the one year that we come here and meet, and all we do is talk about how well it went that year, because there are no plaques on the table to my right. That's one thing we all hope and pray for. To my brothers and sisters in uniform, stay safe and return to your families. Thanks to our honored families for your attendance and allowing us to honor not only your loved one for their sacrifice, but yours as well. Every time your officer left, you got that feeling. I can only equate it to when my daughters were driving. I never went to sleep really until I knew that that garage door had closed and they were home. That I never had that feeling, so I can only empathize with the feelings that you have every time your officer walked out that door. Remember, we gather not to honor how your loved one died, but how they lived. That is their true measure. The buses will leave for the North Field at 12:45. Feel free to mingle, and we will head back to the North Field where there's a luncheon being prepared for you. Thank you very much once again for your attendance.